All right, trying to go live on Instagram. Okay. There we go. Here for Heart Centered Fridays, and little man wanted to join in. Heart Centered Fridays. All right, so just so you guys know, again, there is the StreamYard link. If you're commenting on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram, I'm not going to be able to see it. So you have to come into the StreamYard link to be able to talk or ask any questions, and I can join you in on the live. So this week's Heart Centered Fridays is basically the dance of masculine and feminine energy in the quantum field, how it actually works. Today we're exploring how masculine and feminine energies move through all of us, because we all have them, and how aligning them in love shifts our entire reality. All right. So we're going to take our first grounding breath. So in through the nose, hold it. In through the nose for about 4 to 5 seconds. Hold it for about 4 to 5 seconds, and then the out breath should be slightly longer, 5 to 6 seconds. So we'll do another grounding breath. Yes, and the affirmation for this is, I open my heart to receive truth. I embody harmony between being and doing, flow and form. All right, so we have our friend here with us today, little Ikenna. I don't know, he might be in and out of the situation, but that's that's single mom life. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Nothing's impossible. All right, so the energetic blueprint, understanding polarity. Now this is something that I feel like this is what we should have learned in school growing up, but obviously they taught whoever created the school program, the entities, whatever you want to call it, they wanted control. They wanted workers. They wanted to make money off of people instead of people knowing their own power. And so this is just to help get back into heart coherence and remember your own power. Hence my podcast name is Remember Who You Are. Beneath the conditioning, who we are beneath the conditioning and the programming that we took on throughout this life. So just to define the masculine energy within all of us is supposed to be structure, direction, consciousness, presence, protection, and purpose. And then defining the feminine energy within us all is our flow, our intuition, our creation, our emotion, our surrender, and our magnetism. Obviously, the feminine energy has been suppressed for a long time, thousands of years. It's been suppressed in men and women. And so now we are bringing the feminine energy back because it is crucial in creating our reality. So both exist in everyone. The dance and the energy, it's not the physical gender. It's basically the energy. So just to give you a real life example with my story, I was in my masculine energy for a long time, and it wasn't just regular masculine. It was like wounded masculine energy where I'm like in the Marine Corps. I'm trying to prove myself every corner. I'm like bodybuilding. I'm doing all these things for the it's like you do it for the love that you never received. So I feel like a lot of Marines actually, they call it Uncle Sam's misguided children for a reason. So a lot of us are in there trying to prove something, trying to, trying to be the best of the best. But it's like, why are we in here competing and, all that masculine energy. So Masculine energy, when it's wounded, it likes to control things and try and do things like manipulate things in order to control. So I basically, after I got out of the Marine Corps, I was able to finally start integrating my feminine energy and allow flow, intuition, and magnetism to start to come into my life. So basically, and this whole last year was when I really dug into it. Because, coming out of the Marine Corps and being, having the disability pay like I did, I was able to kind of relax, but it was weird to sit there and relax. And like, I feel like I have to do something. And so we are meant to do what we're passionate about. And we can do it. We just have to believe that we can and get into the right balance when it comes to our masculine and feminine energies. So when our inner masculine provides safety for the feminine energy feels free to create, and you'll start to feel it flow within you. You start to get these creative ideas and things that you want to do. That's where manifestation begins. So as a man or a woman, it doesn't matter who you are, your masculine container needs to be able to hold your feminine flow. Your intuition, basically your intuition is like the intelligence in your body telling you, what aligns most with you. My son is over here. Over here doing the most. So yeah, basically your intuition needs to be able to flow into the masculine container that you provide for it. You have to make sure that you feel safe to be able to create. Most of us are in survival mode. And when we're in survival mode, we're not able to create. So at least we're not able to create from a coherent heart. We're not able to create what we actually want in life. We're sitting there thinking that we have to work this job that we hate, working 2 jobs, whatever it is that you're like working and not living life. So this is all about, getting back to living life. We were meant to live a joyous, fulfilled life. We have to look at things differently. We have to look at the hardships from a higher perspective, because it is all divinely orchestrated and it is working for our highest good when we choose to look at it that way and learn the lesson that it's trying to teach us. And so just to get a little bit more into the quantum field connection, energy precedes matter. So coherence between the heart and mind creates an electromagnetic field. So we have this electromagnetic field around our body. Once we have heart and mind coherence, we can actually magnetize the things to us that we actually really want. So it's not necessarily just about, I think people look into manifestation and they think like, oh, as long as I work hard and focus on one thing, I can manifest it, which, yeah, that's the hard way to do it. And I was always in that hustle, like, oh, work hard, or like just hustle harder for it. And then, I built 2 separate businesses in that mindset. But this is the first time I'm building a business with both energies, my masculine and feminine energy. And, just making sure I stay in coherence and trust that what is meant for me will come to me in divine timing. So trust is another part of feminine energy. You have to trust, have faith, how everyone talks about having faith. You have to trust in the universe, God, whatever you want to call them, universe, God, source, and whatever you want to call it, because it's really an energy. So just to tie, so basically a quantum principle is frequency attracts matching frequency. So if you're in a low vibrational frequency, you're going to attract low vibrational people into your life. And low vibrational frequencies are like fear, shame, guilt, anger, just all those negative emotions. So what we're meant to do is we're meant to allow ourselves to feel these emotions in the moment when they do happen, in order to create what we actually want in life. So we have to be able to hold that frequency in order to up level our frequency, instead of holding it. Basically, you're not meant to like hold it in your body, because that's how you get disease. You get disease in your body by holding stuck emotions in your body. You never allowed yourself to process them correctly. So that's why certain parts of the body processes certain things, and then you get issues in those areas. And so that's why it's important to work on getting that heart coherence and also balancing our masculine and feminine energies. So once your internal union, your masculine and feminine divine union within yourself manifests, it basically manifests external balance and harmony in your life. To tie it into relationships, so when your inner masculine and feminine are balanced, you stop attracting the imbalance, which is control or chaos. A lot of people are in relationships where they're always fighting. Whatever the thing is nowadays, it's the people are attracting narcissists because I did a thing on that. So when you're attracting a narcissist, that is a mirror for you, because you are attracting them because it's showing you where your lack of self-love and lack of boundaries are. And so once you put those in place, you start having the self-love and the boundaries, and then you start attracting a different type of people, which is going to be, I started seeing, once I got past that, and put up the boundaries and the self-love like to the max, then I started seeing people that I can actually overpower energetically, if that makes sense. Like I can feel that they would be willing to change themselves around for me. But what I need to do in this situation is stay within heart coherence. So instead of taking advantage of a situation like that, what I do is I still stay open, but I also let the person know, okay, if this doesn't align with you, it's okay. Like, not everybody is right for you, but there is somebody that is right for you. And if you keep going and not, like, basically you have to stay with what's right for you and keep that standard. And if you start to like sway, you're going to get some things that you don't want. And in the long run, it's not going to last. So it's okay that you meet somebody and you're like, okay, I like their energy, I like being around them, there's good chemistry to a certain extent. But if they don't fully align, then it's okay to move on and for it to fall away naturally, basically. And that's what I'm learning. And so that person that is fully aligned is eventually going to come in, because the more coherent I get, the more I attract that coherent opposite of me, the coherent male counterpart, or whatever gender you're attracted to. Like, it's basically, I feel like it's to attract your person, basically. So a visual metaphor, just to give you a visual metaphor, the masculine is the container, the feminine is the current that fills it, and together they generate power and energy. That's where you're at your full energy capacity and you're able to do anything and everything, because time is an illusion. Time doesn't matter. When we say, oh, there's not enough hours in the day, all that is an illusion. All that stuff was given to us so that we would always feel exhausted, that we didn't have energy, we were working for the man. But no, we are meant to actually be a full container to get our energy from our own self, masculine and feminine energies combined. That is when source energy is completely aligned and running through us, and we're able to do anything and everything that we want and are supposed to be doing that brings us joy in life. And so, just to get into universal law a little bit now too. I've been studying universal law. I've known it for a while now, and I always believed in like the law of attraction for the longest time. But now I really understand all of the universal laws, and these literally are this is the true law. Like F whatever other laws men made, because this universal law is like, look it up. Universal law is really how life works. If you actually take a look at your life, if you read them and you start to understand them better, and you look at your life and how your life played out, like it makes sense why things happen the way they happen. Like I used to wonder why. I'm like, why is it that and for the longest time, I didn't get into a actual relationship because there would be guys that like me more than I like them, or I would like guys more than they like me. But that's polarity at play. As soon as you start to really like somebody, you start overgiving, you start doing all the things like romanticizing, and you're giving too much energy. So with polarity, you're actually supposed to give a little bit at a time. The masculine is meant to make the feminine feel safe, in order for all this other stuff to, like a relationship to occur and attraction to stay, attraction to continue, because you've probably felt where you were really attracted to somebody and maybe you just lost attraction. That's the polarity at play. There was something that happened there within them that made the person lose attraction. And so I realized all the things in my life where, all the times in my life where if I really liked a guy, I was doing too much, over giving too soon, and giving too much information too fast. Like there's so many different things I could go on about when it comes to that. Same goes for men. Like it's okay to take things slow. When you're going too fast, when you're moving too fast, you're moving from a wound. You're moving from lack. Like, oh, I'm lacking somewhere, so I need to hurry up. I need to move fast. But we are meant to move slow, in order for the polarity to stay intact. So, and also with the polarity, another thing I realized too is if you're in a relationship and you just automatically bring your trust issues into a relationship, your feminine isn't there. Your feminine is supposed to be trust. So when you trust, the other person, it has to happen. When you fully trust somebody in the polarity, the other person is going to remain faithful because you fully trust and you're allowing the person to be who they are and do what they want to do. And I'm not saying let them go sleep around. But I'm saying the things that make them happy, though, if they're going and doing the things that make them happy, and then you're allowing them to do so without any type of trust issues or jealousy going on, they're not going to step out on you. But most people bring their trust issues into a relationship thinking like, oh, this person, since I've been hurt in the past, I have to not trust this person. But see, this is what I'm saying. We've never been taught these things. These are things that need to start being taught to our children at an early age. This is the generation. Millennials are the generation that is breaking generational curses. We're having to reparent ourselves, reparent our own parents, and parent our kids all at the same time. And we knew we signed up for this. Millennials out there, we knew we signed up for this, and we knew it was going to be a hard task. But it's possible. That's why we're here. We're here to spread this. We'll spread the heart coherence, and then all you really need to do is work on yourself. If you get yourself into heart coherence, that is going to spread. It ripples into all the people that you speak to and care about. So we don't even have to convince anybody. That's why this has nothing to do with religion, because it's not about convincing anybody of anything. It's about doing our own inner work, gaining heart coherence and balance of masculine and feminine energies within ourselves. And then you'll start to see your outer world balance and harmonize right in front of your eyes. So just to give a little bit more of the universal laws, you can look this up. Look up the universal laws, study them. This is what I've had to do. Law of vibration, everything moves, everything vibrates. So your frequency determines your experience. So you could be at a low frequency and experience low chaotic things all the time, or you can consciously choose to be in higher frequencies. And I've seen myself go up and down even since I've been conscious of this. When I choose to speak negatively about a person, even if it's true, it brings me down to a low frequency. But if I choose to speak with compassion and love, that is when I can feel my frequency rise, and I'm just in a happy-go-lucky like state all day, every day. And so, and emotions are going to come and go. It's fine if you get angry, if you get sad, and you just allow it to move through you then, because that's what we're meant to do. We're not meant to stay in those emotions. My son is over here doing some funny stuff. But yeah, you want to say hi to the peoples? Say hi, people. Yeah, so the law of vibration, your vibration, just to give another example of vibration. So I knew I had a lack vibration within me when you're stressed out about bills, when you're looking at a negative bank account and you're stressed, you can feel the vibration right here in your chest. That's a lack vibration. I literally had to sit with myself, my lack vibration. And I had to, I had to sit with it, look at my negative bank account and be like, okay, this does not define me. I am already whole. I am already, I am love. I came from love. And so none of that defines us. And we have to sit with ourselves long enough until we believe that, to change that vibration within us. And we have to do the inner child work, the shadow work, where we're looking at like, where did I start to get this lack vibration? It was from, when my parents were poor and we were struggling growing up, and I was seeing all my friends, go on trips. And I was like, why can't we go on a trip? Well, we couldn't afford it. And so that lack vibration, it gets ingrained in your children when that's what you are. And then it's nobody's fault, because we can say it's the negative entities of the world, but it's not, my parents' fault, because I know that they did the best they could with what they have. And so it's not a matter of blame. It's just a matter of seeing it in the story and feeling into it, and letting that yourself actually process it through your body. And I promise you, like when I was in the Marine Corps, my body was so tense, and I was like in the best shape, but my body was so tense. I had things wrong. I had things wrong in my shoulder, my back, my hips. It was so many things going on in my body. And I was just pushing through it, because that's what I was taught to do in the Marine Corps. I'm this hard Marine. I'm pushing through all this pain, but it's all stuck energy from emotions that we hold in our body. And I all this stuff I never processed, but I allowed myself to process it this year. And all the things I've allowed myself to process in this year, my body feels so much better than it ever has. Like, I swear, besides when I was younger, but like, I literally don't have issues in my body like I used to. And it's because I can feel your body is meant to like heal itself. You literally just have to put your body in the right environment, not be in survival mode the whole time, fight or flight mode. You have to allow yourself to feel safe, and not be in constant anxiety and depression and like all these things. Like, thinking about the past is I think they say thinking about the past is depression, thinking about the future too much is anxiety. So we're meant to be in the present moment and just be in the moment and be grateful for what we have in the moment. And And that's the thing. I've heard of people that have been in the worst of situations and still were able to find the things that they were grateful for. And that's the point. Even when I was in the worst of my situations, like I was able to find the things that I was grateful for, and that's what kept me going. All right, so the law of gender. All creation requires masculine and feminine energy together. So we have to have our masculine and feminine energy together. Men, you need your feminine energy in order to create what it is that you want to create in life, whether it's the right relationship or the business or the whatever it is that your heart's desire, whatever you're passionate about. Like, in order to create all this, you have to be in your healthy masculine and feminine energies. The law of cause and effect. So your inner union between masculine and feminine energy is the cause, and then it mirrors in outer relationship, which is the effect. So you start to see what the universe is trying to mirror to you with the people that you start to attract, whether it's friendships or relationships. Friendships or, romantic relationships, doesn't matter. You start to see who you attract in your life, who falls out of your life. And it's okay if people fall out of your life. That means that they were not meant to continue with you on your journey. Law of correspondence, as within, so without. So look up the universal laws and start studying them and see, look at where they are in your life. Here's actually a journal exercise you can do, because journaling is a big thing I do as well to basically get information from your higher self. Like, journaling is a good way to do that, like asking yourself the questions and writing it down. So journal one area where your inner energies are out of sync, whether you're too rigid or where you're too loose, and what harmony would look like. So you can start to learn how to balance out your energies. All right, so embodying heart-centered union. Here are some practical ways to balance both. And this is just something that I do as well. Or I'll tell you a little bit about what I do after giving you this example. So having a morning structure, doing the same thing every morning, is a masculine energy, but making it a intuitive ritual is your feminine energy. So in the mornings, I have my morning prayers. I also have a morning meditation that I do before I start any day. And so you have the masculine and feminine balanced right there. When it comes to boundaries are a masculine energy. And then you want to hold your boundaries with compassion, though, because compassion is the feminine energy. If you're holding boundaries out of wounds, you're not including the feminine energy in there. So you have to hold boundaries with compassion. And that's a whole other explanation that I could go on to. But speaking your truth is a masculine energy. Speaking your truth, but bringing in the feminine energy would be speaking your truth in a soft tone versus getting all hostile with it. Getting hostile is always a wounded masculine. And then so you want to speak in your soft tone, but you do want to speak your truth so that people understand where you stand and where your standards are. That was something I had to learn, because my whole life, people, my mother, your parents are the first teachers, basically. And so if your parents are breaking your boundaries left and right, you basically go through life allowing people to break your boundaries, or you go the opposite way, the narcissistic way, where you're completely wounded, boundaried off to where you're just alone the rest of your life. And so you do need to speak your truth. You just have to learn how to do it in the soft tone, and that balances it out. So just a little bit more of my current practice. So I do breath work on a daily basis. I have to do breath work because that literally resets your nervous system. And so me having a toddler, I have to reset my nervous system often. And so I take my deep breaths. I'll go to the beach, put my feet in the sand, because grounding is a real thing. Science has actually shown that when you put your feet in the earth, it takes the inflammation out of your body. So if you have inflammation in your body, go to the beach every day and put your feet in the sand. I promise you, you'll start to see a difference. Every time I go, now that I'm so like sensitive to the energy, I actually can literally feel when I put my feet in the sand. I can feel a release in my body. It's like, and I'm just like I'm telling you, once you get more in tune with your own body, you can start to feel everything. You start to see the divine orchestration of things. Like, it's crazy. And that's what synchronicities are. The divine orchestration. There is no coincidences. They are all divine. Everything's divinely timed. So, and the people that you meet are for a reason. Let's see what else. Oh, motherhood as my playground for this balance. Yes. So motherhood, your triggers are yours to work on. So anytime my child triggers me, I have to look within myself and see where that trigger comes from. And so I have been able to become way more calm for so many things now. It took me some time, but I was able to do it. And it's okay to be able to apologize if you make a mistake and yell out of, a reaction. It's just about getting better and better and not feeling any guilt or shame about it. So don't try and fix the polarity. You want to dance with it. It's a dance. It's a perfect dance. You just got to learn. You got to learn to flow with it. It's like I imagined. So when we're not in balance, we're flowing. We're going against the current of a river, basically. We're going against the current. We're trying to swim against the current. But then once we get in line and balance with our masculine and feminine energies, and allow us to just flow with the universe, like, it's just, you're just like loose in a river and you're flowing with it, and things don't roll. Like, things are still going to happen, but they just roll through you. They roll through you, past you, and you learn the lesson from it. And that's it. Like, that's how it's supposed to get to that point. So here's a guided mini visualization. So what you can do is you can close your eyes, visualize a golden light spiraling up from basically from your root chakra to your heart, merging divine masculine and feminine energy within. Visualization is a good thing that you can do a lot of the time, because visualizing, actually, your brain cannot tell the difference between something that has that you've seen or done in the physical world and something that's been imagined. So the more you imagine something happening, the actual more practice you get with it. And so visualization is a strong thing to do in anything. You want to feel the coherence ripple into the quantum field. You can say an affirmation, and make sure that you say your affirmations with conviction to elicit that emotion. I am the union of divine flow and divine order. My inner harmony creates outer harmony. Look, I say lately, I've been saying I am source energy, because instead of going through that period of time where I was like, oh, I feel like the source energy just stopped flowing through me. Source energy is always flowing through you. You just have to align yourself with it. And so I am source energy, and that's where I get my energy from, is within. And this is just a call to heart action, because my intention and my reason for even coming online and speaking my truth is to put myself in greater heart coherence, as well as help others come into greater heart coherence, because the more heart coherence we have in the world, the better we can make the world. It spreads. I promise you. The ripple effect is crazy when you actually start to see it. And you can spread just by doing your own inner work, going within and balancing out your energies. you're basically creating heart coherence for those around you. So you don't even have to do anything other than work on yourself. So I invite you guys to reflect on which energy are you strengthening this week? Are you strengthening your inner king energy or your inner queen energy? Masculine, feminine energies within everybody. So if you guys felt like this resonated, definitely share it. Send it to somebody you think it would resonate with. Somebody who's searching for answers, like you can DM me and we can go deeper. I'm giving out a lot of free information right now because I mean I don't need, like, I'm in abundance right now. I don't need the money, so I'm giving out a lot of free information. But if somebody wanted to really have a true coaching connection, then we can work something out. So just to close, I just want to say that the more we master this inner dance, the more the universe is going to mirror harmony back to it. To me, this is the greatest thing that you can focus on. If you want your life to become better, this is the greatest thing that you can focus on, is getting to know yourself and balancing the masculine and feminine energies within yourself. Learning the universal law, learning what it all means so that you can be in flow with the universe. And I know there's a lot of religious people out there too that, people are starting to question things, because religion really does just bring about fear, shame, and guilt. And if there are, pastors and churches out there that are swaying away from the fear, shame, and guilt and going more into the positivity, then kudos to them. Like, it's all about gaining more heart coherence. So if it makes you a better person, you got to ask yourself, like, does this actually help bring the heart out in me, or does it bring the fear out in me? Because fear is the opposite of love, and we want to stay in our love frequency, because that's just what the creator that's just how the creator made the universe. The more you stay in love and compassion, the better your life gets. So, all right, I'm gonna end that there. I got some things to do on a Friday night, so I had to do this a little early today. But definitely share it if it resonates, or whatever. If you want to share it with somebody who you think it'll resonate with, go ahead and do that. I'm streaming every time I do this. I'm on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at the same time. So again, if you ever want to join, or if you have any suggestions on topics, you can come onto the StreamYard link and we can talk about it. I'm all about healthy debate. I am not about any hostility or anything like that, because we can have a healthy debate and go back and forth, and I won't get upset, but other people might get upset if you challenge their beliefs. So I don't want any of that butt hurt going on my channel. All right, I'll see you guys later. Have a good weekend. All right, I'm just ending the stream.